honestly just like trying to figure out like who I am. Like, people are always like trying to figure out who they are as a person in general, and like that was kind of like a certain part of trying to figure out who I am as a person as well, because I'm trying to figure out my own specific voice in certain poems, but I can only think in like one or two different forms instead of like all these other different forms.
Okay,
Some like confusion in it, like just the feeling of confusion going into it. Also, like kind of poking fun at myself in a way, because like it's just one huge call out poem. Even though it might take some time to figure yourself out, it you'll eventually figure yourself out, even if you think that you're not going to, or you think it's so far away that you can't even find it. You're going to regardless.
well, we had to do a self-portrait, and this was kind of my idea. I didn't want to do something kind of basic, just like a flat-on face, so I decided to branch out a little bit, try some different things. I think that hands can really add a lot to a composition, and they're a little bit more challenging, so I added hands in. I kind of did this, got a picture of myself taken, and then I was drawing from that, and I realized when I was filling in the face that the hands, leaving the hands blank would be an interesting idea. I'd been experimenting a lot with self-portrait and kind of doing a lot of things that are really natural. They don't, not overthinking the composition or the placement, the techniques, just kind of going with whatever I was feeling, trying to experiment with emotion that way through kind of just thinking, not even thinking, just taking whatever I was feeling and trying to visually display it on the canvas. So that was kind of where I was going with that, the background for this piece. So again, this was kind of another self-portrait that was trying to just kind of go with whatever I was feeling. So I guess I was trying to make it have an emotion that's a little bit more complex, in that you have the hands that are blank and the face that has a lot of detail, and this idea of the person seeing yourself, but then also being seen. The self-portrait kind of, I was going through a lot of issues, I guess, at the end of last year, and I was trying to work some stuff out, and in my art I think that kind of got presented through self-portraits, just kind of trying to figure stuff out, and it was almost subconscious, like it wasn't something that I was doing intentionally, like I'm gonna do a ton of self-portraits and figure stuff out personally that way. It was more just what I was drawn to, and doing self-portraits kind of helped me to figure some stuff out, because I was trying to basically experiment with the way you can see yourself change, like through just day to day, you kind of see your face and your personality differently. So I was kind of doing self-portraits that all are my face but are different, distinctly different, and so this was kind of in that series of how I'm looking at myself, how I want to see myself also. It's kind of, I think I wanted my audience for that piece, it's kind of calm in a way. It was calming to create it, and I kind of wanted people to get that away, but there's also this sense of not exactly like enthusiastic wonder, but a little bit of maybe contemplation, introspection, so some ideas like that maybe take away.